Welcome to the King's Cultural Podcast, the chart-topping Christian podcast that helps you explore culture from a biblical perspective, where we talk to people who are shaping their communities, industries, and homes for the kingdom of God. Christ reigns here, and culture is going to take notice. Today, I'm joined by baseball royalty, a man who spends his Sunday mornings in the church and afternoons on the diamond. If you've ever searched, what baseball glove is right for me, chances are you've stumbled across his reviews. He's a husband and a father who's helped thousands of confused parents choose a perfect glove for their kids. He's built a thriving business and grown a social media following of over 200,000 people across all platforms, combining knowledge, creativity, and a deep love of the game. From reviews to how-tos, he brings excellence, authenticity, and a kingdom mindset into everything he does. Today, we're going to be diving into his journey, the faith behind the videos, and maybe even find out what kind of glove Jesus would use on the field. Please clap wherever you're listening for Chris Bangert, the Ball Glove King.
Hands down the best intro I've ever been given. So,
hey man, nothing but the best, bro.
Thank you. That was wonderful.
Hey, thanks for coming out, man.
I'm glad
Crazy
to be
enough,
here.
crazy enough. Chris and I, we met almost 15 years ago at church, something like that.
That's factual.
Yeah, you were in 8th grade, I think, 7th or 8th grade.
Yeah, I think 7th grade. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. It's a long time ago, man. All right, so to get warmed up, I'm going to ask you some rapid fire questions.
I'm ready.
All right, okay. Favorite team?
St. Louis Cardinals.
Favorite player?
Tommy Edman.
Wood or metal bat?
Wood.
Best baseball movie?
Oh, Sandlot.
If you could play for one position for the Cardinals, what would it be?
Left out.
If you could play one position for the Cubs, what would it be?
Minor league left out.
First glove you've ever owned?
Oh, it was a Wilson.
Wilson?
Yeah.
Worst glove you've ever owned?
Whoa. This one's not fast. I actually have to think. I care too much about this answer, so I can't just give you a wrong answer. Use your brain, Chris.
Next question.
It was an Easton. The worst
Easton.
glove I ever owned was an Easton.
All we needed was pressure.
Yes.
Turf or
Yes.
grass?
Turf.
Infield or outfield?
Infield.
Catcher or pitcher?
Pitcher. Catchers have like the worst practices ever.
Okay, Rawlings or Wilson?
Lately Wilson.
Wilson?
Yeah.
All right, man. I dig it. Like the first glove, right?
Yeah. Who would have thought? I was
All right.
always a Rawlings guy, so it's weird to say that. Lately Wilson though, for sure.
All right. Not bad, bro.
Did some
Not bad.
studying. Good job.
Hey,
I
man.
like these.
I looked it up, man.
Good job.
This interview, by the way, it's not going to be baseball themed necessarily. This is going to be helpful for young Christian entrepreneurs and Christians looking to shape their content and industry in whatever way.
100%.
That's the goal that I'm going for with this because I don't know much about baseball.
That's good. No, baseball can be pretty boring. So
No way, bro. I mean,
we're gonna keep it just like you said. I like that.
for lay people, it could be boring.
That's right.
And me.
That's right. Yeah, guys like Ed.
But you know what? I've watched because I don't like baseball that much. Like I'm not like a big fan. Like I'd go to a game. I think they're fun. I went to see some of your church league games.
Nice.
It wasn't at the church
Oh yeah,
league anymore.
yeah.
But I wouldn't turn it on. But I don't turn on any sports.
Yeah.
But your videos are really entertaining. Or even
Score.
someone who's not sports minded is like, oh, I like this video.
Okay. That's super encouraging.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the goal. And just to be clear, Josh, my younger brother Josh is a wizard at editing. And so there was a very clear point where the videos got better.
Yeah.
It's because I wasn't editing them anymore. So, yeah.
He does a killer job.
100%. 110%. Yeah, it's wild.
I love that. There was a video that you did. This one had me hooked. I was like, you were talking to you DM'd 50 or 100 major league players?
Yeah, 100 I think.
100? Did any of them ever reach out to you?
No. A handful did see it. Like I saw that they saw it, but then never responded. But then we got one former NFL player to respond, and that was like the funniest thing in the world because he just said, "Wrong Adam Jones," because there's an Adam Jones MLB player, and an Adam Jones NFL player, and all he said was wrong Adam Jones, and so that was awesome.
Dude, I love that.
100%.
And he didn't come out?
No.
No?
No. Those messages I sent people out of context, like you didn't know the video existed. They're the weirdest, most confusing, most like this is a like block this person. This is a scary person kind of messages. But if you watch the video, they're hilarious. So.
Oh my gosh. All right. So for people who are just tuning in, how would your parents explain what you do?
Oh, it's such a better way of asking that question. Okay, so my parents would say they'd probably say something along the lines of he collects baseball gloves and then they would probably I think they would be able to like explain that we break them in. That like we help people. They understand that we have a service as well as just making goofy videos.
Yeah.
I think my parents actually do a pretty good job of understanding YouTube. Whereas I think some parents out there, no shot.
No.
Mm-mm.
Huh. All right, dig it. So what's a typical day look like for you right now?
Okay, 24/7 all the time, there are gloves to break in.
Yeah.
And so that's where my older brother Justin comes in. He also works on the team. And so we're kind of always breaking in gloves. That's always relevant. Always. But then something that I probably lack the most of is like video ideas. What's the next upcoming thing? Planning for something. We do all of that last minute.
That's the
100%.
hardest part.
It's the worst part, but it's enjoyable, but also creative thinking is the hardest thing to just sit down and be like, I'm going to think creatively. Like, how do you do that? So that can be the most frustrating thing. But yeah, after that, it's a surprising amount of emails.
Yeah.
Because of the service, the glove break-in service. It's wild how many emails we have to respond to. So that takes up quite a bit of time.
And it's just you and your two brothers, right?
Yep, me and my two brothers. We do just a couple weeks here have our next full-time employee joining the team. So that's cool.
That's
Childhood
pretty cool,
friend.
man.
So it's cool.
Austin?
Nope.
No?
That would have been wild. Oh my gosh. No, his name's Johnny. It was someone where like we've just kind of known him for forever.
Yeah.
Like the simple way my dad held him as a baby, you know. I was like 5 years old going to his house when he was like 2 years old, and I'd like hang out and play with him and stuff like that. And so
That's awesome, bro.
yeah, it's kind of crazy.
I love that. So typical day, you wake up, respond to a million emails,
Yes, that's
break in a
always
bunch
first.
of gloves.
100%. And then yeah, I mean when we get to film, filming is weird because like people think YouTube, you've just filmed videos all day, right? Filming is the smallest part of what we do.
Yeah.
By far. And with that being said, filming is either an absolute blast or it's like horrible. It's like super frustrating. Because like I don't know why, it just tends to be that way. It tends to be one or the other. And when we do film and it works, it's awesome. But then there's days where it's like a constant retake of like that went wrong, the mic isn't working. We showed up, we drove half hour away to go to Dick's Sporting Goods, and then we realized we didn't have an SD card. So you can't film without an SD card. It's like, yeah, it's like filming can be the best or worst experience. It's wild.
Tell me about like the worst hiccup that you've had. Was the SD card the worst one, or?
I have had it where I've filmed an entire video that I just had to throw away because the whole time something was wrong with the mic.
No.
So that's up there for sure. That's up there for sure.
And you
with
couldn't
like,
use the camera audio.
the worst. Yeah, no, it's like terrible,
Oh,
terrible. So that's up there as like one of the worst. And then I would say one of the most frustrating things, which I'm not editing the videos anymore, but like sometimes you get into a video and during editing you realize like this is terrible. This is why did I think this was a good idea?
Yeah.
And so those can be really frustrating because then you have to make something of it. You're like, no. This will be good, especially like we're doing like reviews and stuff. So like we're making the video for people, not just strictly like entertainment and stuff like that. It's like a review. Someone needs to hear about this.
Yeah.
So we have to like kind of grind through and make it happen still. But sometimes, yeah, you just realize how bad you filmed a video afterward. So
We'll fix it in editing.
oh, dude, Josh would hate that. Josh hates that idea.
Oh my gosh. So let's talk about like the behind the scenes. Because this channel, it started 6 years ago? You started the
it's
channel?
like 5 or 6 years ago. Yeah.
So tell me about the journey. Like, what were you doing for work at that point?
Okay, wow. I'm pretty sure when I started, I was working at Menards.
Menards, okay.
Yeah. Like I would send, oh my gosh, Menards, like in a way, one of the greatest jobs I've ever had because I would just do nothing all day and I'm like watering plants and stuff. And all I did all day was think about video ideas. And I'm going through thinking in my head, like, oh, that's a great idea. That's a great idea. Side note, all the ideas are terrible, horrible, awful ideas.
They're always bad at the beginning.
100%. But it's something you have to do. You have to work through horrible ideas to learn what good ones actually are.
Yeah.
Still doing that till today. And so yeah, I'm working at Menards, and it was awesome because there's so much mindless work that it was really easy to just constantly think about YouTube. And at that time, I had a few hundred subscribers, but for whatever reason, it felt way bigger than that. It felt like I was, for whatever reason, pretty convinced that I was gonna like end up making this my job, even though I was making $0 off of it. So. Eventually, I found out we were having a girl, found out we were pregnant, and I was like, well, I got to do more. I got to do more because I was like super lazy worker at Menards. So I got higher up in Menards as fast as possible, and then I ended up leaving and working this boring job where I set people up with medical equipment.
Okay, I remember that.
Yep. And so that was a little bit more of a job. And so that was good. That was awesome. I was supporting the family on that. And yeah, basically YouTube from there just kept scaling. And at one point I left that job just to go, peace out. I'm doing YouTube full time. And I'm going to tell you right now, I should not have quit when I did. But also I should have because it was like God's design.
It was God's design.
I don't know. But man, I was making $2,000 to $3,000 a month with a wife and a baby. Yeah. And I was like, peace out. And I don't know why I did that.
What caused that shift that you're like, hey, I can quit now? Like, what was your moment that you're like, okay, I can do this full time?
Faith. 100% faith. Whether it was dumb, maybe. Maybe. It's potential. But prayer and being very convinced that this was a good thing. This was a good thing. You know what I think I wouldn't have done? I don't think I would have been able to quit if I was making like entertainment videos strictly.
Yeah.
But because we had like, I was like, we are the glove guy. Like I make educational videos and reviews for people who are either looking for buying a glove or just interested in gloves. If you play baseball, I'm a resource.
Yeah.
And so being that guy and that guy didn't exist anywhere else, it felt very comfortable to leave. Whereas if I was just generally making entertainment videos, every video was like, why do you need to watch this? Because it's cool and it's fun.
But we can't compete with Mr. Beast.
100%.
Kids want to watch Mr. Beast, not an entertaining baseball or an entertaining theology video like I make.
100%. It's tough.
We can't compete.
When you have something you stand for,
yeah,
it's way more comforting because you're like, no. Like I'm the only guy who's doing this. Yeah. I'm the only guy who's like giving you the like top tier glove education reviews. I rip on gloves when they're bad because people need to know. All right, and then I tell you which ones are good.
I saw a glove. Your one of your lives, you literally ripped a glove.
Yes, it was hilarious. And so that's the kind of stuff other people would immediately like hide that video, take it down. I left it up. It even had like controversy over like stupid Facebook groups and stuff like that because people are like, "Oh, see, he ripped a glove in half." They were dry rotted laces. It was a glove that someone bought off of eBay. It was a glove that was in a garage for forever. And so, yeah, like I didn't even notice before we started filming, but the laces were like completely dead, dry rotted, disgusting. And so when I pulled on them, they just busted in half, which was awesome. And so anyway, that's part of what we do. We just keep everything in. You know, when I look really dumb in a video, it usually shows through. Like if we're filming and I just keep messing up, like those things end up in the video.
Yeah.
And so yeah, we have that live stream up still because it happened.
Yeah.
It was real life. And
it's
so
authentic,
anyway,
man.
Yeah, yeah.
It's what people want to see because they want to know what are the problems with these things, and you're finding the problems.
100%. Yeah. So yeah, we want everything to be in there, even if it's at the cost of looking stupid.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty good at that. I feel like.
So, I know you stepped out in faith, but there was a moment where you just knew, like, I can support my family doing this.
I think through trial and error, it was having to reach a point of realizing that I would rather be helpful to humans, like I said, through reviews and blah, 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 over just generally making something cool. Maybe rather than making myself look cool, I would rather just actually help people.
Yeah.
And so there's a few key reviews. One of them was talking about like 44 Pro gloves, a little bit of a smaller brand at the time. And then other ones were talking about a glove that people loved, but then I brought it in and I was like, no, guys, this is actually pretty bad.
Yeah.
And so being a resource of an honest person, like I said, I think it gave me confidence knowing I have a purpose. I'm actually going to stand for something. I'm not just going to like take money. I'm not just going to be like, oh, hey, blah, 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 Rawlings, pay me and I'll review that. No. So I was excited to be someone who's going to actually help the people, not the companies.
Yeah.
The whole idea is like politely, like, sorry, large companies, but like, screw you guys. I'm for the people. And so, yeah, I think I was just pretty eager to be that guy, generally.
Dude, I love that. So, what did your family think? Because I'm sure, like, with people not entirely understanding YouTube after 20 years of it being around, what was your family like? What was your wife thinking? I'm sure she was fully on board, but like your parents or your siblings, what were they thinking?
Yeah. I think everybody's like general response was the same of like, you can do that? Like, I'm quitting. And they're like, really? And I'm like, yeah, kind of. Yeah. And so their answer really was kind of like, can you really like afford that? Yeah, kind of.
Kind of.
And the theory is like, you make more videos, you'll make more money. Did it really work out that way? Not necessarily. Kind of.
Kind of.
But just because you have more time to pump out videos doesn't 100% mean that like more people are going to watch. It generally was true, but not as much as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It
my
gives you more
parents,
at-bats, though.
100%. You get more at bats. Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
And that's like the beauty of YouTube. Really, there isn't penalty for just like throwing more at the wall.
No.
But then sometimes it sticks and it's like, whoa, that worked. But yeah, my parents, I would say everyone across the board, wildly supportive.
That's great.
My wife, wildly supportive. Props to Jenny. I don't even know why she was as supportive as she was. So
I do, dude. She believed in you.
yeah,
She's proud of you, man.
I guess. Good wife.
Yeah, dude. You can't do this without the support of your wife.
Oh, that's like, I can't even explain to you how much she's had to listen to me just talk about it. Whether it's something I'm excited about, stressed about, this went wrong terribly. She is like my number one employee because, oh my goodness, she is like a therapist almost, the way she listens to me and helps me through things. So 1,000,000%, yes.
I love that. You
Yes.
got a great wife, man.
Agreed.
How is working with your family, by the way? How's working with your family? You
Yeah.
got two brothers. I know people say don't mix, your business and family or business and friends sometimes.
Yep. Yeah. So I've definitely heard that many times. And overall, I think I'm really like, okay, if you are hiding things from your family, if you're not if your authentic self is not good,
Yeah.
then yeah, working with your family is going to be rough because guess what? Who knows you the best? Your family. And so not that I'm a great person, but my family knows me. We're very close. We've always been very close. We still have a super like wildly close family across the board.
You guys have always been tight knit.
Yeah.
I love that about your family going over there.
100%. And so so for us it just happens to work really well. My brothers know me really well. They know the bad parts of me. They know what I would do negatively, like, oh, he talks to people, like even this. They were talking to me and they're like, hey, once the podcast is over, he's like, probably shouldn't talk to Ed for like 3 hours. It's like, you know me too well. I would 100% do that.
Yeah,
And
he's keeping you on track.
You got to get back once you're done.
Yeah.
And so that's been a huge plus for us, a huge bonus. So I love it. I'm obsessed with it. Absolutely love it. But I also acknowledge that that wouldn't work for everyone.
Yeah.
I know people that just flat out couldn't do that. So really ultimate props to mom and pop because they created the culture that made it possible. Great, incredible parents.
You got awesome parents, man.
Mm-hmm.
They're killer, man. They raised a lot of good kids.
They did.
Every one of your siblings, I'm like, man, like they turned out really good.
Yeah, 100%.
I love seeing that.
Yeah. Yeah. Josh is okay.
It's true.
No, they really did though. It's wild. It is wild.
They did a great job, man. All right. I got a question for you. This is a dreaming one. It's an idea. What's a video idea that you've wanted to do but you haven't yet because it's too crazy or expensive or not the right time?
Okay, so one for sure, a quick one I can think of is going to Japan. So really want to go to Japan. Japan is like where
You got a passport?
awesome. I actually don't right now. Japan is where like the peak baseball is.
Yeah.
Of like not necessarily talent, but they have so much passion in the sport. And so I would love to go there because their gloves are flat out better than like everywhere else in the world. So that would be awesome. But then there are some videos where I want to do a video where it's like learning how to hit a home run in 2 weeks. And that's been a video that we've had written down for forever. And the whole idea would be, starting over from the opposite side of the plate. So
Yeah.
starting from scratch, not hitting my normal way, going to the other side and learning how to hit a home run. And so
That'd be cool.
yeah, it would be a ton of fun. So that's one. Please don't steal that idea. I want to film that one really badly.
That's a great idea, though.
Yeah,
That'd help people.
Yeah, yeah, that's what would be cool. Is like it would be entertainment, but there would also be some like pretty realistic takeaways.
You figured out like the line of, I have to get not quite clickbaity, but you have to get something that makes people curious or
Yep.
or questioning in their face. But then also afterwards, you have to make sure once that initial peak of like YouTube's pushing it out that you have good searchability.
Yeah,
Like
100%.
how to hit a home run. That's a great search. That's great.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it is interesting because of like I hate. It feels weird to like brand yourself.
Yeah.
And like be like I do not. The last thing I want to be is like self-obsessed.
Yeah.
But with that being said, there's rules to the road of like how YouTube works. You know, you got to stick yourself out there, and so like thumbnails have been really interesting to try to like improve and learn. Because yes, you need to make things that are like, oh, I actually want to watch that video.
Yeah.
That's the whole point. They have to click on it. But then it has to be real to the video. It has to be true to the video. You want to consider what is something that maybe someone can search one day. And so we've seen some, I don't know. I don't even know if I would call it luck, God, or just trying to listen to people who are smart. Because I feel in everything we've ever done, I'm not that smart of a person. I'm really just trying to listen to other people.
Come on, man.
And so basically, yeah, we've learned how to do it pretty well so far. And we're just going to kind of keep going. Like I said, that's rooted on the fact that we stand for a specific thing. We are the glove guy.
Yeah.
And so we're able to just keep making that type of content. And now people search us once, and now it's forever in their head. There's that guy who talks about gloves. 2 years later, they're shopping for another glove. Guess who they're looking for?
They're coming back.
100%. So, yeah, it's awesome.
I love that. All right, I got another couple of business questions before I want to talk about how your faith is shaping things.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, they start on YouTube, and they choose their niche, and it's a small niche, and you can't rely on YouTube ad revenue, right? Like, I mean, you could get demonetized in a day for whatever reason.
Yep.
So you started a business on the side.
Yes.
Or in the forefront, I guess. Now this is a lot of what you do. What was that process like? Like what made you go, I should start doing this is going to be helpful for people.
Yeah. Okay. So another one, man. It's not me. I'm not a very smart person. So I would call him my manager. Cam, I love you if you're out there. Basically, he's the guy who talks to companies for me.
Yeah.
So rather than me trying to like go back and forth and be like, oh, do you want to do this from blank company that makes, athletic cups or whatever? He does it for me. And he was like, hey, you should just hear me out. And he gave me like a 15-minute straight pitch of just telling me why I need to break in gloves for people. And I told him no. And then like maybe just a day later, he's like, no, hear me out. And he's like, I prayed about this. I've been thinking about this. I was up all last night. And he kind of gave me another shorter pitch. And I was like, okay, yeah, that's a good idea. Because this is an idea that's generally popped in my head. Breaking in a glove is really hard.
Yeah.
We're really good at it. I mean, like across all the videos we've ever made, the one thing that's common among all those videos is we had to break in each glove to then review it. And so it only makes sense. Like now that I think about it, I'm like, yeah, this makes sense.
Yeah.
We break in gloves for you guys because it's really hard to do. We'll do it for you. We're a master at it. So I was finally like, okay. And well, it's kind of just wild. Like it was immediately like, yeah, people were cool with it. This is a good idea. I want to send my glove into you. And then we started learning how to talk about it on social media, and that helped. And then word of mouth.
Yeah.
We haven't talked about the glove break-ins for a solid, maybe like 3 months or something like that.
Yeah.
And word of mouth is just carrying us. And it's like for the past like 3-4 months, it's just like an absurd amount of gloves that we're getting. I mean, like we're bringing in another guy. It's wild. And so it's really cool because it's like that's another moment where I'm not a genius. I'm just relying on my friends, my trusted friends' wisdom. And yeah, God's been really working through it because now it's like you said, that's like what funds like everything Ball Glove King. That's like when
Yeah.
we want to do bigger idea videos, it's based on the finances coming in from our break-ins,
Yeah.
not like YouTube ad revenue.
That's cool, man. That's so smart to do that too.
Yes.
Like Cam came up with a great idea. How'd you meet Cam, by the way? Because he sounds like a good dude.
He is. Yeah. Yes. And so, basically, I have a friend who does the exact thing I do.
Yeah.
But with baseball bats.
Oh, okay.
And so he was the one who like hired Cam himself. He found Cam. And then Will is his name, who does baseball bat reviews. He was like, "Hey, let's get Chris on this. Let's get Chris in on this. Like, you need to work with Chris too." And so I like signed with Cam. And yeah, so like he's the one, like I said, he represents me to companies. And that was like the greatest move because when they signed me, I wasn't booming whatsoever. It was just that Will, fantastic guy. He was like, he's doing the right thing. He was like, he's doing this like good faith reviews.
Yeah.
We want him on the team. And so, yeah, I absolutely love them because another example of somebody where they wanted to be a part of it and they wanted to be helpful before I was doing anything cool.
Yeah.
Before like success. So yeah.
That's awesome. All right. I want to shift gears.
Yeah.
I want to give you something.
I'm incredibly nervous. This is an apology?
I'm sorry. So I was your small group leader over 10 years ago at winter camp.
Yeah.
And we're sitting down on the floor and you're a little hyperactive kid. All the kids in our small group were hyperactive, like
Valid.
bouncing off the walls. And you go, "Yeah, Peter's the one that flew around Rome, right?" Do you remember that?
Yes. Oh, yes, I remember.
All right. And
Oh, it's so good.
we grilled you. We're like,
Oh, this is
"Where are
so
you
good."
getting this from?"
Mm-hmm.
And you said, like, "I saw it on the History Channel."
Yes, I did. I did.
I went in this past year. I just on YouTube, I listen to some audiobooks sometimes, and I listen to the Acts of the Apostle Peter, which is like a apocryphal or like a. It's not in the Bible for a reason.
Yes.
And there's a story where where he's like having interactions with Simon the magician, who is in the Bible.
Yes.
And Simon says, "I'm gonna fly around
Simon
Rome."
says.
And so Simon in this book of Peter flies around Rome trying to prove that he's magical and whatever.
Yeah.
And I can't remember the end exact, but I think Peter prays that he'll fall.
Yes.
And I think he falls to his death.
That's so good. So that's what I was referring to. That's what I was referring to.
But
Hang on. Let me just say, this is a story that occasionally I just think about it, and I'm like, am I dumb? Am I dumb? Did I never watch that episode on the History Channel? Did I make that up?
we made you feel crazy for it. And
You did.
It was no one's read that.
Oh, of course, the History Channel, though, representing it as if it was just like a fact and it happened.
Oh my gosh.
My gosh, dude.
It blew my mind. I listen to that and I go, Chris is right.
This is so good.
He knew all. He was right.
I feel really good right now.
I'm glad. So you never all you had was the history. You never went and fact checked it after we said you were crazy.
No, because you guys made me. I was like, yeah, I'm crazy. I'm crazy. That
Yeah.
never happened.
I'm sorry, dude.
That's awesome. Wow.
Sorry, man. All right.
I feel so good. That's awesome.
All right. So let's talk about faith in your videos a little bit.
Yeah.
Because at some point you consciously decided, I'm a resource to people. I'm gonna help them find baseball gloves. But there's this whole other side of me that not even side. It's what covers me. It's what runs every area of my life.
Yeah. Yeah.
You started wearing like Jesus is better t-shirts. You're wearing one right now. I love those. They look so good.
Agreed.
What what made you decide to start being bolder in
Yeah.
this?
Well, so basically, like what you said. So at one point you realize, okay, so I'm not a Christian on the side, right? That is my being. Like that is what I am. My identity is in Christ, and so I love my family, right? In the same way where I love my family so much more than anything related to work,
Yeah.
right? And so like if I lose my work, whatever. It's like my family is what I care about. And so it just matters more.
Yeah.
And then the same reason, even more so, I love my family so much, but I love God. My identity is a child of God,
Yeah.
and so I love God so much for the same reason that if I lose my family, I'm still a child of God.
Yeah.
And so like it's the very peak of what matters in my life. It's the difference between heaven and hell. And so with that being said, it seems, how would it not? How would it not show through?
Yeah.
And so something that's encouraging is when people say that kind of like, dude, I knew you were a Christian. Like they'll watch one video, maybe I don't have the Jesus is better thing on, and then they watch another video and they're like, I knew it. Just by like character. And so that's really encouraging when you hear that. But yeah, to me, like wearing the Jesus is better, it seems such an easy way. I would say it's cool to live boldly to those who don't know Jesus, but it's also maybe even like more so this really cool thing for people to hold on to when they see it and they are a Christian, because they're like that sort of, I knew it, that like I knew this guy had something.
Yeah.
Because like I've had that experience time and time and time again, and it's an incredible feeling when you just are like, you just love someone you see online, someone you meet in person, and then like a little bit later you realize that they're a Christian, they love Jesus, and they absolutely passionately for real love Jesus. Super encouraging, because you're like, that's awesome. And so yeah, it was kind of a no-brainer at one point. It just had to enter the videos, because if I genuinely believe that believing in Jesus is the difference between heaven and hell, if I care about my viewers, I gotta do something.
Yeah.
Gotta do something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's worse, like making them feel like alienated because they don't believe the same thing, or just not even trying to tell them, hey, there's this cure for this disease that's
Yes.
so much better.
100%. Yeah. It's like the Penn and Teller guy, where he had the quote where basically he said, like, if you're a Christian, like the worst thing you could ever do to someone is not tell them about salvation through Jesus Christ. Like, how much do you have to hate someone to at least not try to talk to them about it, even if they completely disagree? If you genuinely believe it's a difference between heaven and hell, you better at least mention it.
Yeah. I listened to, I got the gospel track sample pack from Living Waters. Ray
Yeah.
Comfort, you ever see him?
That
goes
name
like,
sounds ridiculously familiar, but
have you ever told a lie? What does that make you, a liar? And then like that, he shares the gospel like that.
Yeah.
He has a little dog with sunglasses.
Okay.
So people love talking to him because he's got a cute dog with him.
That's the easy win.
And I remember him saying this thing, like, you don't want to share the gospel with you want to do relational evangelism. You don't want to share the gospel with your friends because you don't want to make them feel awkward. You must not like your friend that much.
Yeah.
You must hate your friend if you don't want to share the gospel with them.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I think we live like a super in a super easy to live in world, and so like any discomfort is kind of like, well, you probably just shouldn't. It's like, no, discomfort is a good thing. It leads to better things. It leads to better relationships, even if it's like disregard the gospel. Like when you go through something awkward with somebody, guess what? You like know that person more now, and so we should be
100%.
more open to it.
And it causes you to step out in faith, like those awkward moments. It's you trusting in God.
Yeah.
You know, you're like, I know that it doesn't feel like it's going to be okay, but I know you'll make it okay.
Absolutely.
I love that. So when you started sharing the gospel and really just being open with your faith with people, because a lot of Christians, they can just say, I'm going to do my videos and keep my religion out of it because I don't want to alienate anyone. Did you see, like, was there any consequences, good or bad, in your videos for that?
Yeah. So yeah, actually, yes. So before like any t-shirts or anything, I early on was just straight up taking like a 10-minute video, 5 minutes of it I was talking about Jesus. I learned that wasn't the right way to do it. I learned, like, people in the comments very politely were like, hey man, the glove talk was awesome, thank you. They kind of just kindly said, like, I think you probably shouldn't talk about Jesus for 5 or 6 minutes in a 10-minute video. So it's like half the video, like, it's deceiving at one point.
Yeah.
I told the thumbnail is, hey, I'm going to talk about this glove. And then half the video is nothing to do with the glove. So I realized like, oh, that makes sense actually. Like if you hire a plumber and he's getting paid hourly
And I
and
spent
you
2
spend an
hours there.
hour or two and you're there for 2 hours and an hour was preaching the gospel to this person.
And I charge him for it.
Yeah. So like I realized I'm like, oh, okay, like I'm serving these people. All right. I have something that I'm giving them, realistic thing, right? Baseball gloves and education. And so I was like, yeah, it doesn't completely make sense to just dump scripture on them for a good chunk of a video.
Yeah.
So we've learned how to do it appropriately. A lot of it, I kind of try to like, I'm like, Jesus, because like I don't want people like if I share a proverb, that's just awesome wisdom.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing. But I'm also like, you can just walk away with a proverb and like never consider Jesus.
Yeah.
Because Jesus is the whole point. So if I'm going to talk about something, I'm going to try to make it about Jesus. Because if I want someone to go look up anything, I want them to look up, who is this Jesus guy?
Yeah.
But yeah, sharing a proverb wouldn't be bad. But don't overthink what I just said.
Not bad. I just did a video recently where we talked about Passover.
Mm.
And, Jesus is our Passover lamb. You've heard that, right?
Yes.
And Israel, they were commanded, don't boil it. You have to roast it. Well, anyone who's had boiled meat, well, I mean, unless you're in England, they boil their meat for some reason. But it's just,
Weirdos.
it sucks. Whereas roasting it, you get a pleasing smell. It tastes better. Like
That's funny.
And that's how we're supposed to be with the gospel. It's supposed to be like a pleasing aroma.
Mm.
It's supposed to taste good. It's supposed to be appetizing to people.
Yeah.
And so you're learning how to do that in your videos where
Yeah, that's actually really good. I like that a lot.
right?
Yeah, heck yeah.
I heard this one guy who taught at our church recently say, I'm like, that's beautiful.
I'm gonna steal that.
I love
That's great.
It's awesome.
Love that.
As a Christian, like, have you lost out on any deals for certain things? Any sponsorships or whatnot?
You know, none come to mind like really forward, but like there was at one point, I had a company who was offering me like 3 times as much money.
Wow.
It was a lot more.
Yeah.
And I said no, and it largely had to do with just like praying about it.
Yeah.
Thinking about it, thinking it through. And the other company is a company that's kind of just been by my side since the beginning, before I did anything cool, anything noteworthy, when my views were very minor. And so, yeah, I was like, you know what? Like, I love these guys. I'm going to remain faithful to them and kind of deny the finances and,
Yeah.
and yeah, try to just be true to them. I would say often I'm like, what would be the word when you're like loyal?
Loyal.
I'm loyal to a fault sometimes.
That's a good thing.
And I want to stay that way.
You know where you're
That's
fed.
okay. That's okay. So I'm going to stay that way. So like that's something that was not anyone persecuting me.
But as a Christian, you've had to pass on some things.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
That's great. That you know when to do that too.
Mm-hmm. It was a weird thing to do. I mean, I didn't tell Jenny about it. I didn't tell my wife about it for like a year. Because I was like, I don't want her to know that. I mean, that would have made like a impact on our life as a whole.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Wow. All right. Has your faith ever changed how you approach sports and business? Like, are there, well, yeah, I'm going to let you answer that.
So, yes. Simple answer, yes. Largely, so like remaining overly loyal. I'm loyal to the real human beings.
Yeah.
The people who are playing baseball, not companies who are making money off of the people playing baseball.
Yeah.
So like that largely, I couldn't point you to like a specific verse, but like that's rooted in my faith as being real and genuine and prioritizing people, not companies and their money and my money, because like I would make more money if I just say, yeah, sure, I'll review that if you pay me.
Yeah.
And then you only get to say good things about it because they're paying you to review it.
You have to be dishonest.
Yeah, so I would say that's one like the biggest thing probably that would stick out to me is just that like my Christian morals just from like my upbringing largely directed how I would review baseball gloves.
Huh. I like that. Since sharing your faith on your channel, like, has there been any unique opportunities or conversations that you've had because of it?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yesterday, responding to emails, somebody reached out. They were a really nice kid. I ended up sending him a gift because he asked for like an autograph, and I gave him more than what he asked for. He was a really nice kid.
That's awesome.
And oh wow, that sounds like I'm such a good person. Um, but he
Well, cut
made
that out. Cut that out.
Yeah, cut that
out. He's a bad person, guys.
he made a comment in an email just saying like, he said, "What's your story and why do you think Jesus is better?" I was like, "Let me cook, brother." And so yeah, I like in an email, I basically started by saying, "It's why do I think Jesus is better? It's complicated and simple at the same time." And I went through some of the complicated stuff. I explained kind of like the if this is true, blah 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 blah, and then went into a little more detail. I think I actually used specifically John 14:6, and then
What's that say?
for oh, you're gonna put me on the spot now. I'm
Oh,
nervous.
dog. Sorry, man.
I'm the way, the truth, and the life. No one enters
Comes to the Father.
comes to the Father except through me.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I didn't know what it was. So when you started it, I knew
Yeah,
it. But
yeah. And so then I kind of went to the simple side, and I was like, simple answer, I think that Jesus is better than anything this earth can offer.
Yeah.
And I think he's the difference between going to heaven and hell. And so yeah, I was like, prayed over that email, sent it, and who knows? You know, I don't know if the kid knows Jesus. I've learned a lot of like baseball kids just, it's common. It's common to like have a Bible verse on your glove. They've heard about Jesus, whether that's because of like Catholic family or going to church on Christmas and Easter.
Yeah.
And so you have to kind of like bust through and not be like, Jesus is cool, bro.
Yeah.
But no. I'm talking about like, we're gonna die. Where are you going?
Yeah.
Are you going to heaven or are you going to hell? You have to take it a level deeper because in the U.S., everyone's heard about this Jesus guy.
Yeah.
So.
And so many people have like a false gospel. I like how you explain Jesus is better. Jesus is better than anything that the world has to offer. And there's a choice because everything else will lead to destruction. A lot of people end with Jesus is better. You should try Jesus because your life will be better, and this and it'll confuse them. It'll make them think, okay, well, it's optional.
It's right. It's an option. Well, it's like, no, it's the option. It's not a option. It's the option.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Oh man. All right. Keeping in mind, Jesus was about 5'1" to 5'5", maybe 5'3" ish.
This is so good.
What kind of glove would Jesus wear?
Okay, first thought, small dude, Wilson's have a tighter fit, okay? And then we're just going A2000, Wilson A2000. He's going with a DP15, or at least the Dustin Pedroia fit, because that's a smaller hand fit.
Okay.
But Carpenter, if that's true, he might have had some sausage fingers. So that could be a problem. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
But simple answer, he'd be wearing a Wilson A2000.
Okay, I dig it. Follow-up question. You think he would just barehand it and win?
Yeah, he's gonna play like the 1800s baseball, where they're just like pegging people and playing with their bare hands.
Oh, I love it.
That would just be unfair. I wonder if there is baseball in heaven, is Jesus allowed to play?
Is he like you remember Avatar: The Last Airbender? Did you ever watch that? They didn't let him play the tag anymore. Whatever. Yeah. It's not fair anymore.
Jesus is kind of always a little bit bummed. He's like, I want to play.
I want to play. Sorry, Jesus.
Bro,
we Rudolphed him, man.
We did.
That's
really
a terrible thing to do.
That is. That's a bad guy to do it too. Come on.
Oh, no. All right, so you and me and Harriet Tubman all have this one thing in common.
Okay.
We're going to say it on 3. 1, 2, 3.
10
narcolepsy.
Toes. Oh, no way.
Harriet Tubman had narcolepsy.
You have narcolepsy?
I have narcolepsy.
Brother.
You have narcolepsy.
Let's go. That's awesome.
Yeah, it blew my mind when I found out because I'm like, I thought I was the only one.
That's so, oh my gosh.
But you got narcolepsy
awesome.
too. That's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, I'd be sleeping.
You'd be sleeping. How's this impacted your business? Or just your life? Because I remember I started taking medicine.
Okay.
And now that I'm on, I do a low carb carnivore essentially diet.
Yeah.
I don't need my medicine anymore.
That's what I need to do because everyone I know that has gone through the efforts of like cleaning their diet out 100%, they're like, dude, it makes the difference. No medicine is needed for a ton of different autoimmune diseases and stuff like that. It makes a massive difference. And so, oh my gosh, all day I'm like, what am I doing? I drank a soda to drive here because I don't want to like fall asleep and die in the car.
Yeah.
And even just like when I'm
you.
buying the soda, I'm like, I really shouldn't be drinking this because it's part of the problem. But it really overall, I like to say it like this: I'm just a sleepy boy.
That's what I say, dude.
Yeah,
I'm a sleepy boy.
yeah, dude. It's like I'm really good at sleeping. It impacts my wife way more than me.
Yeah.
Way more than me. You know, like the other day, there's just like frustration between us because like 2 or 3 times in the same day, she's just trying to either talk to me or do things like with me, show me something. And I'm not really aware of it, but I'm like out. Because what's tough is like with narcolepsy, something that's like common is you like start dreaming immediately. And so like, I don't know if you have the same experience, but like, it's not when I'm like starting to fall asleep, I'm already dreaming before I'm asleep. So I have no clue that I'm starting to fall asleep.
That's crazy.
So like
dude.
in church and different things like that, I'm not aware that I'm like too sleepy to like, oh, you should stand up because you're too sleepy. I have no idea because I'm like dreaming. And
I've fallen asleep standing up. In the back of my class, I've
1000% many times.
I got called into like a board because it was my apprenticeship when I was a plumber, and I'd stand up and they'd be like, "Can't you stand up in class?" Because I got called in for falling asleep so much.
Yeah.
And I was like, I've done that.
They're like, trust me.
I've done. It's safer to sit.
Yes. So yeah, I've my worst is I've fallen asleep riding a bike, and yeah. Yep. So like I fell asleep riding a bike once and like wiped out and like just trying to take like I fell and I'm like I get up and I'm like, well, what happened?
Do you know? Can you like sense it coming on? Like
I'm getting better at that. But that's the biggest struggle for the first like 2 or 3 years. I had no idea like when anything is gonna happen. So I would so many dangerous driving stories. I'm so like almost like if a former alcoholic looks back on their life and they're like, wow, I can't believe I didn't kill anyone. I'm so glad.
Yeah, me too.
That's how I feel. I'm like, I cannot believe I didn't crash into somebody and kill them.
Until you take, this is just narcolepsy advice, but until you get there, like go to a neurologist because you got to do like, you've done the sleep study, right?
I have not done the sleep study. I went to one doctor and they're like, hey, so you have narcolepsy. I can't tell you have narcolepsy until you take the sleep study.
You should do the sleep study. They prescribed me Sunosi.
Yeah.
And it changed. I would walk around. I'm like, people feel awake. People feel like this all the time.
That's wild.
After the sleep.
That's encouraging. Actually.
And then since carnivore, I don't even really need to take my medicine anymore.
Yeah.
I just feel awake.
I've heard that across the board, man. That's wild.
It's wild. So I want to ask you this. What's the craziest thing that you've done to stay awake?
People on the road have seen this. It's embarrassing. And when they see it, they're either going to like speed up and drive away, slow down and just avoid me. But yeah, overall, I mean, look, if you're on the road and you're falling asleep, dangerous. Yeah. All right.
I always pull over. I learned it and I pull over.
Yeah. So
I'd
eventually,
sleep in like dangerous gas stations and parking lots.
Eventually, I would get there. And my problem is if I'm at the point where I realize I need to pull over, I'm usually like, I can't make it like 30 more seconds. And so like I get over and I would just pull over on the side of the highway. And so like countless times cops are knocking on my window and like, and I'm like,
I've been there.
I'm not drunk. I'm not high. And so anyway, they always believed me. They never had to do like a, walk the line or anything like that. But yeah. And so I will like, what like velo slaps are like lifting deadlift. So I would like necking yourself. I would slap the back of my neck as hard as I can and scream at the top of my lungs.
I've done that. I've done the scream.
Yes. And so like try the slap on the back. Maybe you don't have the problem anymore, but it's like if you're going to go power lift something, you're trying to do like a new PR for deadlifting or something, people come up behind you and slap the back of your neck and like your shoulders as hard as they can. And it just hurts so bad. It immediately makes you like tense and intense and adrenaline. And so I'll try to do that to myself. That works like pretty well. But you know what I've realized? I should carry smelling salts. I wonder if that would help. Like smelling salts
that might make you
like
crash
crazy.
The car, dude.
Yeah, so maybe that'll help. I don't know.
My gosh. Dude, the diet. I tell you
I'm glad you said that.
that it has changed my world.
Yeah, I'm glad
Changed
you
it.
said that.
All right, so starting a business, it, a man can be tempted to just throw himself all into a business.
Mm.
What's How do you maintain balance? Because you got 2 kids, one on the way.
Yeah.
You got a wife. You got church commitments, and then
Yes.
essentially like 2 businesses. You're on the break-ins and the videos.
Yeah.
That's 2 separate things.
Yeah, it is. I never, yeah, like I don't think I realized that going into it. It is 2 separate things. And so really communication in the workplace, right? Because like there's 2 separate things going on. But then communication with my wife, Jenny, is really when we can tell when it's been like, oh man, we have not talked well lately because we're getting frustrated. Like this morning, she was making a small comment about like, oh, can you do this? And I was like, no, I got to leave at 8. Like, I got to get out of here. And then she's like, what? Like, why didn't you tell me that last night or something? Like, I usually leave at 8:30. And so it's like little things like that. Communication is key. But it's hard.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, it's hard.
So what do you do to like? I don't know. Have you figured it out, or are you still figuring it? I guess that's the question. Are you still figuring it out how to balance all this?
It feels like I'm still figuring it out. But the reason I'm not like worried is because I've got my like list.
Yeah.
Got God, got my family under that. And then really it's like work and it's kind of like all the realistic things after that. Like third in line is just the like, yeah, we have to get people's gloves back to them. We have to film videos.
Yeah.
And so those things are very important because the business doesn't continue if that is like sixth in line, Then it's obvious. It's like, wow, I sent my glove to you 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Where is my
it?
glove? So yeah, so it has to be higher up in the list, but man, family and God is just 100% ahead. So
You've been breaking in gloves, right? Do you still do a lot of that, or did the other guys do it?
yeah.
or-
So like Justin breaks in probably at least 70% of like our gloves. And then at the same time, like it's not just one like it's not just like you break it in once and then it goes home.
Yeah, it's a whole
There's
process.
stages and stages and stages. And so yeah, I often touch like majority of the gloves. They at one point like we're interacting with them. There's always questions. Feel this, or this glove's awesome. Feel this. I'm very involved. I'm there, right? I'm not working in a separate building. I'm there for all of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Justin has been incredible because like so quickly he's just like this glove guru where I'm learning stuff from him and he's learning from me. It's cool. It's really cool.
So you break in a lot of the gloves then.
Breaking in a lot.
You got a lot of
still.
strong hands then. You got strong.
Yeah,
hands
dude.
still?
It's fingers and forearms.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. No way. You're
Thumb
definitely
wrestling,
strong.
1, 2, 3, 4. I declare a thumb more.
I'm kind of a big deal. I got small.
You got strong thumbs, bro. My thumbs. You got reach.
I got
You got more reach than that. I got little baby thumbs.
I got a little like skinny long fingers,
Dude.
which actually makes breaking into gloves easier. Little known fact.
We're calling that a tie, by the way.
Okay, that's valid. That's valid.
Have you had your "I made it" moment yet?
I
Or
don't
what's
think
that-
so.
What's that look like for you? What do you think?
I don't know. I don't know if I have anything that would ever make me feel that way. Not because I'm like, oh, I have to always strive for success and more, but because I think I don't care. So maybe an "I made it" would be like maybe if I like film with a few MLB players and stuff like that, maybe that would help feel that way.
That'd be sick.
But like my "I made it" is 5 or 6 kids in a home that we own. So like
Those are the good goals.
yeah, so like I think that's the thing that would make me feel like I made it. But other than that, like dude, it could sound so like cheesy and corny. I feel like that right now. Like I've like got this whole like we make money enough to where we can just be like, you know what? Like let's just go out and eat tonight. Like I got home, Jenny was like, dude, today was hard. And then Ruth is sitting there and Valerie's sitting there, our 2 daughters. Third one's in the belly right now. And I was like, let's do like a date night. I was like, everybody, like I got Ruth dressed up in a fancy dress, Valerie dressed up in a fancy dress, and we went to a super mediocre Italian restaurant. And they view it as a very fancy restaurant like the girls do, and it was awesome. So like the fact that we're in this position, dude, we're like, I feel so rich in the sense of not money, but like so much joy that feels like it's lasting and not like constantly like video games are fun, right? But like if I'm not playing the video game, guess what? It's not fun. I've got like joy that surpasses that. It's awesome. It's from the Lord.
Quit.
It's from the Lord, man. It's awesome.
Because you know they're always there for you.
Yeah.
I love that, man.
Yeah.
If you could give a piece of advice to Christians, especially people that are like in their 20s, they're trying to navigate culture and build a business today, what advice would you give people that are trying to do what you do?
One piece of advice. So whatever it is you're doing, you have to make your goal to be like the master of it.
Yeah.
So I like if you're ever dipping your toes into like get rich quick things, ditch it. Not worth it. Be the master at something, right? Be like a voice of something, and make God a part of it from day one. It's one of those things like if you create this audience where you're totally like no one knows of you as a Christian, no one knows that Jesus is like anything to you. It's gonna be harder for you to one day talk about it out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But like for us, I never was like brought like, oh, should I talk about Jesus? Will people not like that? I talked about him from day one.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. So I'd say including God in it. Like God is part of your business. Like I've said, I'm not a very smart person. Everything we've done has been by like listening to people who are wise.
Smart
Listening
people
to people
surround
who are
themselves
smarter.
with wise people.
So maybe I got a little bit of that.
Hey, man.
And so that's what I've tried to do. And so a lot of our business, it genuinely feels like God started the business. God put us in the position we're at, and I'm just reacting to it.
Yeah.
And so yeah, putting God in like the driver's seat looks different for every business, but do that.
What do you want to promote today?
Honestly, like glove break-ins. If you play baseball, because like the reason it works is because we're pretty darn good at it.
Yeah.
We're really good at it. And so it's really cool because we have a business where I feel no like guilt or shame in being like, am I taking people's money? It's like we're helping people, and it works really well. People sending gloves, what would take them months or years to do, we're doing it in like 2 weeks. And so 2 or 3 weeks and you get it back and you're like ready to go. And so, yeah, man, we got more coming over at Ball Glove King, but right now, yeah, man, the break-ins have just been awesome. It's really cool. It's great to work with your hands, dude.
Yeah.
It's very rewarding. It's awesome.
I love that. Where can people find you online?
BallGloveKing.com is our website. And then Ball Glove King pretty much everywhere. Type in Ball Glove King, we're going to show up. Type in baseball glove and we'll show up on YouTube.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, we exist to educate. Hey, buy this. Hey, don't buy this. And so whether that's you or a friend, you know.
Hey,
yeah.
Perfect, man. All right. Well, thank you, Chris, for coming out here today. He's Ball Glove King anywhere you'll find him on the internet. I hope this encouraged you, wherever God has placed you, to go shape your community for his glory, no matter what you do, from being a plumber to doing baseball glove break-ins. Tune in next time as we continue to keep exploring culture from a biblical perspective. Thanks for watching.